Hi everybody, it's Friday, November 1st, and this is this week's edition of the Scary Fan Party Report. So this week's shows kicked off in Detroit. I heard many things. I saw some of the footage from Detroit. It was amazing. We had a lot of fans there, so it was great. He followed Detroit with a show in Cleveland, a sold-out show in Cleveland, that was well attended by many of our Scary Pool Party Worldwide and Alejandro Ronda fan club members. It was exciting. We got to see lots and lots of pictures. He did, of course, write and say thank you, Cleveland. The following day, he headed to New York City, which he said was one of his favorite cities. We were so looking forward to this concert. I have to say, being in line and waiting for him to show up. We did see DK in line. I was actually live streaming when DK and Travis walked by. It was exciting. The whole vibe from New York was simply amazing. He was a busy guy in New York. That day, while we were all in line eating and sharing and talking about the concert, he was doing an interview at Paste Magazine. He also did a Subway Creatures. I mean, if you think about it, it was kind of brilliant. All his stands were in line, so he wasn't going to be followed all over the city. It was good that it wasn't announced. I was happy that he did it. I do wonder how many people were watching him in the subway and if they had any idea who they were watching, because that is something they always show from New York City, right? You see the famous violinists playing in the subways and nobody really knows who they are, so I'm just really curious about that. But the show started out, it had an amazing billboard, by the way. I think New York wins for the biggest billboard, at least. We were standing in line for approximately 6 to 7 hours, and it was amazing. We all talked. We all got along. A Alejandro fan was there. There were many people there from the Scaryverse and the groups, and we just really loved it. It was a sold-out show, although they did release more tickets that day, and I thought the place was packed. It was hard to see. I was in the front row. Sucre was the biggest surprise for me as far as these concerts go. And I knew that DK and the guys were talented, but seeing them live had a whole different thing going on. It was unreal to me how amazingly talented these guys are. I'm going to address some things later in this podcast, but suffice it to say that the show was amazing. He was so on fire in New York City. It was like surreal being there and being in the front row and seeing him and watching him play all these songs that I've loved for so long. He played, he started out with Millennial Love. He played a lot of his acoustic music, but it was with the band, which I actually enjoy. He also played my favorite new version of a song, which is Cheater, or Heartstorm as it's called now. And I have to say, True Religion is an amazing song. I can't wait till it gets released. The following day, when I was on my way to Philadelphia from New York, he was doing an interview with Billboard Magazine, which was also amazing to see. He answered a lot of fan questions, and we found out that his favorite snack is bacon with peanut butter and jelly. I don't know about that, Scary, but I don't think I'm going to be trying that anytime soon. It was funny, though. He did answer a lot of fan questions, which I know was appreciated. People were talking about it. There were lots of our stands that got their questions answered, and it was just amazing to hear that. Once we got to Philadelphia, I was the first person in line in Philadelphia, of course. There was no billboard. I was kind of disappointed in my hometown here. They could have done something. There was a sign. I got a picture of that. They had a kind of locked-in gated area where the bus was. We saw that because we were super curious how he was going to get from New York to Philly that fast. But as I predicted on the way down there, I thought that the band probably went ahead of him, and they definitely did to set up. It was great. We did see him come in around, I think it was around 4:30 to start rehearsing. We heard all kinds of music coming from the venue, It was amazing. I really loved Philly for a lot of reasons, not the least of which was the spontaneous version of 10 Years that was done completely without equipment. He used his guitar and he did not even have a microphone. It was one of the most amazing, beautiful performances. I swear everybody in the crowd was crying. It was completely silent. It was just so next level, even for him, which is saying a lot because I really didn't think he could top New York, but I think he did. I thought the one thing I saw a lot of actually being at the shows was that I think the fans went out of their way to respect his privacy. I think they went out of their way to respect DK and Sukra. Anytime that DK and Sukra walked out with the kids, nobody picked up their phones. Nobody shouted out at them. I kind of felt like the kids didn't sign up for this, so we didn't want to make the kids feel bad. I'm super happy that everybody kind of had that same mentality when it came to the children that were on tour with them, because that's got to be hard and scary to have people screaming out your name in front of your children. It was very respectful, though, and I thought that both shows for me were just absolutely life-changing. The music that he is doing right now may not be everybody's particular preference, and I have to apologize for something I said last week. I tend to call out the AI fans for hating his new music and preferring his acoustic music over everything else, but when I think about it, and somebody pointed this out to me, when I think about it, we're all AI fans. That's kind of how we discovered him. However, the difference is I support him as a fan no matter what he does. And I'm not saying that he is going to do everything I like forever. I can't ever see myself being in a mosh pit, but I want that for him because that's what he wants. And I definitely wouldn't go to his management and say, hey, he's not doing his acoustic music. It's just getting to be a lot, and it's not like he doesn't know. So for me, like, to hear that repeatedly, and I don't even hear it as much as he does, but I hear it a lot. And I feel like I spend a lot of energy trying to explain that he needs to do what he needs to do. And it's kind of like, let him be the artist. People wanted him to win so badly on American Idol for one reason, and that was because he was different than every other artist. But as soon as the show was over, it was like they wanted him to be only one version of himself and a very small version of himself. So I don't know, somebody did the hashtag get on board and move on, and this definitely applies. I apologize to all the American Idol fans out there that do support everything he does. You know, I would just hope that as fans that we could try to be supportive of what he wants as an artist and a person. This is about him at the end of the day, and even though we get to participate in that journey, which I love that we get to participate in that journey. I loved seeing him live. It was everything to me. It really was. I'm not some fangirl that just doesn't understand the respectful boundaries of normal relationships. However, this is not a relationship. He has no responsibility to make anybody but himself happy. And the fact that he is feeling pressured to explain himself and his music and his process and all of these things is just unacceptable to me. So I really hope that people kind of move on from this and just let him be who he wants to be, because he has to live with himself. We can walk away at any time. As fans, we can be like, you know what, this isn't my thing. The difference is I wouldn't report him to his management and say, hey, what you're doing sucks. I want to hear the other stuff. You know, please play Bless Her. There's so many things that were said during the concerts that I have heard time and time and time again, and I get it. He gets it. You know, it's not about that, though. Let him be an artist. That's all I have to say. After that, he went to Boston, which was also sold out. They did release some extra tickets to Boston. I have not watched any of the footage that's out there, but I am sure that the show was amazing. My favorite part is when he is playing, what is he playing? I think Vampire Shades, when the lights are going crazy and surrounding him and they're in a circle. It was very surreal and it was amazing. I absolutely love the lights. I love the music. I will always support him as an artist, regardless of what type of music he does. I encourage people to do the same thing. Just give him the leeway that he needs to become who he's meant to be. He did post a blurb on Twitter saying that he has an announcement this week and to check out his new acoustic version of Millennial Love. So we're all looking forward to that news whenever that happens. Along with the acoustic version of Millennial Love, he also dropped a new version of Fading Away, which had me absolutely excited because I hope that means that maybe it will be on the EP that's coming out. We'll see. I really, really love that song, so I really hope that they're going to give it new life and put it on the EP. I think so far we've figured out that maybe Vampire Shade, maybe Cheater, Millennial Love, and Something Real might be on the EP. I'm not sure if that's it, but hopefully there will be more. He posted a lot this week, or his people posted a lot this week, videos of him playing new songs or old songs from Instagram. He releases a lot of acoustic stuff on his Instagram, so if you are into the acoustic music, I suggest you follow him there. I would love to see him collaborate with an anime artist. I think that would be really cool to kind of do an original anime with his music in the background illustrating it. I think that maybe he's working on that. I don't know, because he did say something about anime in one of the interviews, but I would love to see that. I think that it would be truly interesting, and I would love to see him collaborate with another type of artist, like a anime artist or a painter or an animator or somebody of that nature that can kind of give color to his lyrics and his music. I think that would be super cool. There was lots of press this week. There was lots of articles about his music and how the fans were receiving the concerts, which overall, despite the criticisms here and there about his acoustic music, overall the responses have been very, very positive. People are calling the concert life-changing. I know for me it was very surreal. It just invaded my soul, and I loved every second of both shows that I saw, and I would not change any of it for anything. Regarding his social media this week, Instagram was down again, although the amount that it's dropping every week is falling, so that's good to see. Twitter was down slightly. Facebook was up for about the 5th week in a row, which is great to see. And I would just encourage people again to follow him on Facebook. If you love his music, please do that so that, you know, he has support on all his channels. YouTube stayed the same as far as we know. I suspect that it went up a little bit, just under 1,000. However, all the songs did really, really well this week. He added, of course, the new version of Fading Away and the acoustic version of Millennial Love that everybody has no doubt listened to. Tonight, Diamonds and Fading Away were the biggest gainers this week. Fading Away leading the pack with 11,000 views. So everybody loves that song, I feel like, and I look forward to more of that. I am really hoping, against all hope, that he releases that. Spotify was down about 2,000 again this week. All the music did pretty well this week. He had increases on all the songs, but overall this channel is really falling. It has fallen from about 195,000 followers to about 127,000 followers. So I really hope people start showing this channel some love again. SoundCloud was up its normal amount. This channel is really super predictable, as I've said, and each song was up and did really well as normal. Things of note this week, and the reason that we think Cheater and Vampire Shade are going to be on the EP is because they took them off of SoundCloud. So that happened probably Wednesday this week because it was still up there when we played it on Tuesday. So we noticed that it was gone and we don't have it. So I am suspecting that those two songs are coming out soon, perhaps. We'll see. That's it, everybody, for this week's edition of the Scary Fan Party Report. I encourage you to try to embrace new things in life and try to be good to each other and be good to him as a person, because we need more of that in the world. Instead of putting everybody down, let's try to build each other up. Do some good in the world. Take care, everybody. Bye!